A lot of people look at these charts and wonder, hey, am I too late to this thing? Was 2017 the end and now we're just kind of trailing off? Well, I'm here to tell you, I think we are still extremely early to the party. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the Blockchain Backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. And today I want to dive into the charts. And I know there's a lot of people out there who are wondering, am I too late? Was this bull run just in 2017? I came in late to the party and now it's over. Well, in this video, I want to help you understand why I believe that we are still early and the biggest bull run for Bitcoin, XRP, and cryptocurrency is still right around the corner. One of the big positive signs that we have going on just in general, right? This is a really positive thing for cryptocurrencies that one, the Bitcoin block halving is coming up in a few months, and two, that this is actually still a bullish formation on Bitcoin. One of the biggest things that happened during this bull run right here from April till June when Bitcoin went from the mid 3000s up into the mid 13,000s. The biggest thing that happened there was that we printed a higher high on this chart, and I'll show you where that is. And this was a big deal. The fact that we got above this area right over here, let me put a big arrow right there for people who are watching on their cell phones. Oh, great, green. How about we go to black? There we go. That area right there, the fact that we printed a higher high above this shows that we were going in a downtrend. If you can remember what this was like in February of 2018 when Bitcoin got down to $6,000, that was one of the capitulations that we had, and the big monstrous bounce that came off of that, taking us up into the mid 11,000s, followed by the grind all the way down. And then here we are printing our higher high. And like I've mentioned many, many times, we are still just doing a retrace at this point. I always discuss this 0.702 price level, and hey, we have not exceeded that. So everything is still looking awesome. I know that these swings are huge and people lose hope in them, especially down here. And, I'm going to step back on this, like I've mentioned it, how the comments are getting so rough everywhere and the negativity is out there everywhere. And, you have to kind of just like turn your eyes away from that for a little while, because that's what you see when you get near bottoms. When you get the huge population of people super frustrated, super angry, and they just can't contain their anger and their frustration, that's a good sign. When you start seeing everybody in agreement that the price has to go up, that's when you should start worrying about reversals happening to the downside. That's when things are getting too greedy. But right now we're living in a whole lot of fear in this community, in the cryptocurrency space. And for reversals, that's a very good thing. As you may or may not know, we have a fear and greed index for the cryptocurrency market. And right now we're in fear. And you can see that we've been in fear yesterday, last week, last month. We've been in fear for quite a long time, really since August. There was only about a 1 to 2 week period where we were out of fear and in a neutral zone. Since August, that's 5, 6 months of just complete beaten down. And then the polar opposite of that, I saw Stock Cats on Twitter post this. Hey, tomorrow was supposed to be the day that we hit 100. Oh, well, maybe next time. And this is the fear and greed index for the United States stock market, sitting in extreme greed, 97. And the stock market is at all-time highs, making wave 5 of wave 5. And it's looking like it's so dangerous in the US stock market. And I know it kind of sounds like I'm smiling and laughing about all that, but I promise you, it is a nervous, uneasy feeling, because if you've ever really dove into charts to see where things were in the charts when specific events in time occurred, just like events in society, big things, like just big catastrophic events, and when they occurred and what the charts looked like right before those events occurred, it will terrify you. And right now, I don't know what event's going to happen. There's going to be some type of event that's going to occur, and it will be timed perfectly with the stock market. And that's what makes me nervous and uneasy, because I do see see that in the stock market, once this thing tops on wave 5, something really bad is going to happen. And I don't know what it is, and that does make me uneasy. So, would you ever consider buying the very top of the stock market? I certainly would not. And the fear and greed index is reaffirming my opinion on that. The fact that we are in extreme greed for the stock market reaffirms that don't touch it. But when you are in fear, and look at this, even on right here, 1 year ago at this time, it was an extreme fear, which was a buying opportunity at the time, right? About the stock market bounced after Christmas time and then went on the run that it's on right now. We're in the same stuff, right? We're in the fear, and you just need to power through it, okay? And you may be thinking, yeah, I know, you don't need to remind me. I'm very well aware of it. But sometimes you do need to just remember that. You don't want to get trapped in your own head, and just remember that the whole market is in that same feeling at the same time. So it's kind of just like, it's kind of like the beach volleyball is being held underwater for so long, and people just can't contain it, and eventually that thing is just going to pop out of the water and explode. And I think we're in that same spot right now, and nothing looks bad here. We have a higher high on the charts, and we have a standard normal retrace. I'll dive into that 0.702 a little bit more in more videos, but right now I feel like we've kind of beaten a dead horse on that at this point, so I'm not going to just go into it too deep. But 0.702 is an extremely common retrace level, which is what we're seeing right here. We've got the higher high, standard retrace. Everything looks perfectly fine right now. One thing about the Bitcoin block halving that we've talked about in the past is that people assume that the price of Bitcoin needs to go up in order for miners to be more profitable. But I presented an argument that that's not necessarily true. However, the price will still go up due to the Bitcoin block halving, but not because the miners need to make more money. It's due to the fact that the miners cannot dump as many Bitcoins every single day onto the exchanges. Think about that. Where do the miners sell their Bitcoins every single day to fund their turnkey operation? If the miners are only getting half the amount of Bitcoins that they're getting every single day, that means they can only sell half the amount of Bitcoins every single day. And that relieves some of the selling pressure from the top side, making the buyers stronger. The buyers become twice as strong as they used to be, and the sellers are half as strong. They're twice as weak. So that's something that's very positive coming up in May. And something people that haven't been in this market for 3 years don't know is that sometimes a market can go up just because it's going up. And if you've never heard that term before, if somebody says, hey, why is the market going up? Well, because it's going up. People see that it's going up, so people buy it and it keeps going up. And that's something that we're seeing in the stock market right now, right? We have all the fundamental data telling us this should not be going up anymore, but it's still going up. Why? Because the algorithms and people see that it's going up, so they continue to buy it. And once that block halving kicks in and the price starts going up, people will start buying just because it's going up. So keep that in mind. And the speculation part of me wants to say that the media coverage tone will probably change, right? Once it starts going up really fast, the media will draw people back in. And that's how it always seems to work. And we take all of those things combined. We take the fact that we have a higher high, we have a standard retrace, and we know that in 4 months there's going to be half the selling pressure every single day on the exchanges from the miners, and it creates a bullish opportunity. So let's head on over here to Coin Trader, where I've got it zoomed in, and hopefully you guys can read these numbers okay on the side and on the bottom. I know that there were people wanting it to be bigger for your cell phones and mobile devices, and hopefully this does help. This is one of those things that when we talk about being early to it, you got to think of it like this, okay? I don't know the exact demographics of everybody who listens to my show. I have a ballpark idea, but to know the complete demographics, but if you are at least, let's say, 30, you may remember what it was like 20 years ago for like Microsoft or Apple or let's see, things like Google didn't exist back then. But I remember when Apple was around, right? And Apple was not what it is today. Apple went through this phase where it was just like you didn't know if Apple was even going to survive anymore. They became so irrelevant of a company. They were just like nobody cared about Apple at all anymore. It was just, oh my goodness, you use Macintosh? What are you? And it wasn't like it is today. Today, it's really cool to have an Apple iPhone. Maybe not so much. I think maybe that time has passed. It might have been within the last few years, but it's normal to have an Apple device. It's expected of you. What kind of phone do you have? Oh, I have an iPhone. Oh, okay, that's normal. That's expected, right? And now Apple is one of the largest market cap companies in the entire world. But it wasn't like that for forever. And people are buying Apple right now because they think to themselves, oh, yeah, of course, I'm going to buy the Apple stock because everybody uses Apple devices, right? You think this is a company that's very successful. This is a company that's doing well. I like my iPhone. I see the value in Apple. I want to buy Apple stock, right? Those are people who are late to the party. When you think about what XRP is and the company of Ripple and what they're doing, we are investing in something that we anticipate to do well, right? We're not investing at it in the point where everybody's already using XRP. We are not at that phase. We are not at the point where everybody understands it, gets it, uses it, says, oh yeah, this is successful. This is why I'm going to buy it. So you have to think of it that way. Are we at that stage where Apple is already at, where Apple is already successful? People are already using the devices and people are happy with what they have. And they're saying, yes, I want to invest in this company. No, we're not there yet. We're way, way, way before that, right? We are early. We are not at the point where everybody is using XRP in their cross-border payments or in their transactions. So think of it like that. You are still early. Yes, it was a crazy bull run that happened in 2017 based entirely off of speculation. The next one's going to be when we have utility and people see the value in that utility and invest based off of that utility. That's how we reach out to those really big price targets. Everybody says, well, everybody knows what Bitcoin is, everybody knows what cryptocurrency is, so we must have had the speculative bubble and it's over. Everybody who was going to invest invested. Wrong. There's a group of people who will invest just purely on speculation, but there's another group of people who won't invest unless there's utility and a fundamental reason to do so. And that's what the next one's going to be. When we have utility and a fundamental reason and there's less speculation. I still think all my price points are still exactly what they've always been. And I still think it's going to reach out to some extreme levels. But I think we're going to see that we are those are not unrealistic numbers to be looking at when we are not at the point where Apple is at. Whether or not you believe it'll be as successful as Apple, that's not the point. The point is that people invest in Apple right now because they know Apple. They're familiar with Apple. They see their Apple iPhones every day. They hear about Apple in the news. The last time CNBC talked about Ripple and XRP, they got all of their information wrong. They were calling XRP the parent company of Ripple. They don't understand what Ripple is and what XRP is. Or it's just not time to communicate that to the public yet while the prices are this low. We are not there yet. We are early. The media has not told the public it's time to buy. And if you were in cryptocurrency in 2017, you were quite shocked. When Bitcoin was getting to $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, the public was still not being told to buy. It was, and I'm telling you, in my mind, even in June, I remember seeing it hitting $2,000 and $3,000, going down to $1,800, getting up to $5,000. All of us were sitting there thinking, man, wow, this is insane. And when it got up into the $8,000 and $9,000 range, we were just like, this is unreal. And what was crazy, this is crazy, is that the media still wouldn't talk about it. It was mind blowing. They would not talk about it on television that Bitcoin was at $9,000. And then once Bitcoin crossed $10,000, it was time. It was time to bring in the regular people to the party. All the people who did not get told about it while it was below 10 grand. And then they brought everybody in and instructed them how to buy digital assets. The media made the public buy the top. And we're not there right now, right? Right now, it's still this, I don't really know. I don't really understand this stuff. And, Ripple, this Silicon Valley company, these XRPs, the parent company of Ripple, XRP. It's intentional, guys. It's not that they're really dumb. They're not dumb. They all have market researchers behind the scenes telling them everything they need to know. And the dumbest thing for them to do, if they're investing, is to be telling you to buy too. And it's not your turn to buy, according to the media. Your turn to buy is when the price is high. Your turn to not buy, your turn to the time where they're going to protect you and make sure that you don't get hurt in the markets is when the price is low, right? They're not going to tell you to be buying it while the price is low. They're going to tell you to buy it when the price is high, just like they did in 2017. So we're early to this party. We are not at the Apple stage yet where everybody is using an iPhone. We're not at the stage yet where everybody is using XRP for their payments or cryptocurrency for their payments. We're all early. And, I know we get trapped in our own little world of, looking at YouTube and looking at Twitter and seeing, the thousands of people of us that there are and thinking that this is a large amount of people. But oh boy, it's not. And then some people like to run the numbers and say, hey, there's no way that we can be the ones who are going to buy the bottom. But we can. A lot of people think, well, they won't let the public be the ones to buy the bottom and give us such easy access and let us all become rich millionaires. And then the counter argument to that is, well, you think about how many people there are really in the world and that we're actually still just a teeny tiny percentage compared to that. And I've got even one more thing to go beyond that. Even if all of us do get this great golden opportunity to buy the bottom, most of us will not make it to the top. Most of us will get shaken out along the way. If you think that these tactics of shaking you out at the bottom will not continue on the ride up, well, they will. They will absolutely continue all the way up. They'll give you extreme greed followed by extreme fear and shake out a lot of people. Not everybody's going to ride all the way up to the top, and especially not going to sell the top. It's going to be 1% of people who can ride it all the way up to the very top. The rest of the group, the rest of the herd will get shaken out along the way. Sell too early, sell too late, sell too whatever, get FOMO'd in, FOMO'd out, buy too high, sell too low, all that kind of stuff. It will still continue. None of that will change. So to think that there's no way they'll let us buy the bottom, yes, we absolutely can buy the bottom. It's just whether or not you can hold through all the volatility going all the way up and if you can pick the places where you're going to get out. So, okay, boy, that was a nice little rant right there. So, I'm going to take a look at what's going on today, right? I know yesterday that we had a little bit of volatility. I'd posted about it on Twitter. There just wasn't really enough volatility in any of the prices on Bitcoin or XRP to really make any kind of video covering it. I still really don't think there is. I mean, yeah, we moved up and down about a penny. Let me head back over here to TradingView. And I had mentioned if we got below 0.185 that I would make a buy, and I did. I got it exactly at 0.185. I was still questioning it. I was kind of like, man, should I wait a little bit lower? And what do you know? It popped. So I didn't get any more buys in beyond that, just right there at 0.185. There's not much to say about this. Hey, that's cool, but it could we're still just ranging in here. I know this candle is exciting, but it doesn't mean anything yet. By the time I publish this video, that could be a different story. We could see something more, and then I could do a real, dive deep into what's going on. But right now, we're still just in this range. Nothing has really changed. As you know, I'm still just as optimistic as ever, right? I mean, like I pointed out to you in the Bitcoin chart, there's a higher high printed on that thing. I'm just not worried about it. Nothing bad has happened in this. Read the sentiment. That's all you got to do. If they're angry about whatever, then you know you're doing the right thing. And I sometimes have to think like, it's impossible for me to feel your emotions, the viewer, the person listening to me right now. It's hard for me to really understand exactly how you're feeling, but I hope you can understand how I am feeling, and I'm feeling that everything is fine. And the way that I try to make a connection to you is that I've been through a lot of this stuff before. I've been through what the emotional toll feels like being at the bottom, and the way I can connect back to it is by studying the sentiment of the people around us, right? And that's what it reminds me of. I look at the price, I see the price suppressed, I look at how people are acting in comments, and it reminds me this is what it was like. This is how I was feeling, and it felt really bad. But that just ties right back into why we are so early. The fact that there are so many people that can be shaken in and out so easily It's just a positive sign for those who have a long-term mindset, which I do. Let's end this on a really positive note, guys. Everything looks great. Bitcoin looks good. XRP still looks good. Maybe I'll do another technical analysis video today or tomorrow and just kind of reiterate why everything looks so good, because we just might need that right now, right? It's been a while since I've just done a complete technical analysis on it, so maybe we'll do it soon. And you guys had to tolerate me ranting and roaring for darn near 20 minutes in this video. So if you have the opportunity, if you could please hit that like button on this video for me, I would greatly appreciate it. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe so you can get notified when I release new videos. And as always, thank you so much for watching. So once again, I am not a financial advisor and this is not investment advice. But if you ever need to pick me up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. I think that coffee is kicked in. Have a good one.